So you guys are all going to have a page that looks like this, because we are learning how to figure out how to find the net forces. And remember, in what we read about the balanced and unbalanced forces, it says that to find the net force of forces that are acting in the same direction, you add them together. Okay, and then so we can write this down. Let's just write this down over here. Let's see if I can do this real quick. Hold on. All right, so I wrote some things over here on this side right here. And I wrote how we're going to find our net forces. So when we have our net forces, forces that are acting in the same direction, okay, let's make a note of that. We'll do same direction with this, and then when they're acting in the same direction, you add them together. When they're acting in the opposite direction, you subtract the smaller from the larger number, okay? So we're going to take some time to do some of these. I'm going to do the first 3 with you, so 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to do 4, 5, and 6, and then question number 8 on the bottom by yourself. So our directions say for each diagram, determine the net force acting on the object. Follow the format for showing your work shown in this little equation right here. Then write whether or not there will be a change in motion. And if yes, write the direction the object will move in. Okay, so for instance, in this equation here, we have 2 newtons moving to the right, and then we have, this is going to be kind of hard, 4 newtons moving to the left. Okay, so we have opposite directions. So because one's going one way, one's going the other, they're both pushing on that same object in opposite directions. So let's go back over here, and they're not in the same direction, so they're in the opposite direction. So we need to subtract the smaller force from the larger force. So our larger number, 4 newtons, minus 2 newtons equals 2 newtons to the left. Okay, so the net force was 2 newtons, and then we said that the change in motion was that the box will move to the left. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other ones with you. All right, so now I have in number 1, we have 2 newtons going this way, 4 newtons going the same direction. So what do? I add them together. So I have 4 newtons plus 2 newtons equals 6 newtons. The change in motion is that you can just write whether it's going to go to the left or the right, but this is going to be to the right. So our answer will be change in motion, yes, because it is going to stay going in the same direction, but it has more speed, or it has more force on that object. All right, so now we have number 2. We have 8 newtons to the left, and we have 10 newtons to the right. Our newtons are pulling in opposite directions. So we subtract the smaller number from our larger number. 10 newtons minus 8 newtons equals 2 newtons, which gives us 2 newtons. And our change in motion will be yes to the right. So if you guys want to put maybe your answer for your newtons in the box, that might be easier for us to read it, or you don't have to do that. That might not be as easy. So maybe we'll just leave it like this. Okay. So number 3, we have 10 newtons to the right. We have 10 newtons or 2 newtons to the right. So we're going in the same direction. We add them together. 10 newtons plus 2 newtons equals 12 newtons. And our answer is change in motion, yes, because we have a greater force pushing on that object. Okay, so I feel pretty confident that you guys can do the rest of these. And you can refer back to this video if you need to look at the rest of them. And then you'll have another worksheet on the same thing. So I'm going to clear all this real quick and just kind of read with you on the bottom. On the bottom it says, below is a diagram of a tug of war. Circle the correct word to complete the sentences that follow. Okay, so you have your little picture here. It shows a person pulling with a force of 200 newtons, and then these people over here with a force of 100 newtons. So A, it's asking, so you're going to circle one or the other. The forces shown are pushing or pulling, and I already said that they were pulling. So then you would simply circle your answer, and then you go through the rest of them. Okay.